Me, 39, senior HR business partner at commercial real estate firm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Make $96,000 base plus bonus. Been working in HR for 14 years now. Company is Piedmont Commercial Properties. We manage office buildings and retail spaces across the Southeast. Mid-sized firm, about 340 employees total. Mix of property managers, leasing agents, maintenance staff. We handle 180 commercial properties worth about $890 million in total assets. Client-facing roles are crucial. Property managers work directly with tenants and building owners. My role is HR support for the Client Services Division, about 120 employees in that department. Handle hiring, performance management, employee relations, compensation decisions. Report to VP of HR, who oversees all people operations for the company. Been with Piedmont for 6 years. Started as HR generalist, promoted to business partner 2 years ago. Company culture is traditional, relationship-based, very focused on client satisfaction scores. Property management is still male-dominated industry. About 65% of our client-facing staff are men. Senior property managers, especially 18 men and 7 women in those key roles. When I first joined, I noticed a gender disparity immediately in client assignments. Male property managers consistently got the larger, more prestigious properties. Downtown office towers, major retail centers, high-profile corporate campuses. Female property managers got smaller buildings, suburban offices, less lucrative accounts. This wasn't official policy, just pattern that developed over years. Senior leadership justifying it as client preference or relationship fit. I heard these explanations constantly in assignment meetings. Client specifically requested male property manager. They're old school. This building owner prefers working with someone who understands construction. Assign Mike. Code language for gender preferences that nobody wanted to admit openly. First few years, I documented these patterns, built understanding of assignment system. Noticed that male property managers' client portfolios averaged $6.2 million in managed assets. Female property managers' portfolios averaged $3.1 million, exactly half the responsibility. This translated directly to compensation since bonuses tied to portfolio size. Male property managers averaging $18,000 annual bonuses, women averaging $9,000. The pay gap was structural, built into the assignment system itself. Year 4, I start pushing back in assignment meetings when positions open up. Major downtown office tower needs new property manager, 42-story Class A building. Manages $85 million asset, prestigious client, high visibility, great for career advancement. VP of Operations wants to assign it to Brandon Cooper, 44, been with company 10 years. He's capable, experienced, safe choice, has managed similar buildings before. But there's also Jessica Huang, 36, been with company 8 years, excellent track record. Currently manages smaller suburban office park, gets top client satisfaction scores. I speak up in the meeting, what about Jessica for the downtown tower? VP of Operations looks surprised. Jessica's doing great with the suburban properties. Exactly. Her performance is excellent. She's ready for larger responsibility. This client is very demanding, needs someone with Class A experience. How does anyone get Class A experience if we never assign them Class A buildings? There's uncomfortable silence in the room. I've stated the obvious catch, 22. Brandon has the relationship experience the client expects. Are we sure the client expects that? Or are we assuming based on client demographics? Client contact is 58-year-old male corporate real estate director, traditional business type. Let's not create problems where none exist. Brandon is the right fit. They assign it to Brandon, but I've planted the seed publicly. Over next several months, I keep raising this issue in assignment discussions. Every time large property comes available, I advocate for qualified women candidates. Sometimes I win, get women assigned to better properties. Other times I lose, Watch men get opportunities despite equal or lesser qualifications. Start tracking assignment decisions in my own spreadsheet. Over 18-month period, 14 major properties came available for reassignment. 9 were assigned to male property managers, 5 to female property managers. Of the 9 assigned to men, I identified 4 where women candidates were equally qualified. This is the data I need, proof that gender bias affects assignment decisions. Year 5, I bring formal complaint to VP of HR about assignment patterns. We have systemic bias in how we allocate client portfolios. Male property managers consistently receive larger, more prestigious assignments. This creates compensation disparities since bonuses are portfolio-based. Show her my spreadsheet. The data is clear and compelling. VP of HR is sympathetic. This is concerning. We should address it. I propose we implement equity-conscious assignment process. What does that look like specifically? For next 6 months, prioritize women property managers for major client assignments. Actively rebalance portfolio sizes to achieve gender parity. She's hesitant. That could create perception of reverse discrimination. We're correcting existing discrimination. That's not reverse anything. We need to be careful about how we implement this. Careful has meant maintaining status quo for years. We need action. She agrees to pilot program. I'm authorized to influence assignment decisions. Month 1 of Equity Initiative. Class a retail sitter needs property manager. Current manager is retiring. 280,000 square foot upscale shopping center. Anchor tenants include major department stores, dozens of specialty retailers. Asset value $62 million. Generates significant management fees. High-profile assignment. 2 internal candidates. Robert Nielsen, 41, currently manages similar retail property. And Monica Torres, 37, currently manages smaller strip mall and office building. Robert has direct retail experience. Monica's experience is mixed use but smaller scale. Traditionally, Robert would get this assignment without question. I push hard for Monica in the assignment meeting. Monica has consistently exceeded client satisfaction targets. Her properties are always above occupancy projections. She's ready for this level of responsibility. VP of Operations pushes back. Robert has managed retail at this scale before. Monica hasn't managed a property this large or this retail-focused. She'll never get that experience if we don't give her the opportunity. This is $62 million asset. We can't use it as training ground. It's not training, it's advancement. She's earned this. I make it clear this is equity issue, not just business decision. VP of HR supports my position. Monica gets the assignment. Robert is visibly upset. He expected this promotion. Month 2, another opportunity. Downtown office building needs property manager. Premium property, tech company headquarters, $48 million asset, sophisticated client. 3 candidates, 2 men with relevant experience, 1 woman with less. Woman candidate is Sarah Chun, 34, currently manages medical office buildings. Different client type than tech company, but she's sharp and adaptable. I advocate strongly for Sarah. We need to rebalance portfolio assignments. Sarah is highly capable. This is opportunity for her to expand expertise. VP of Operations is frustrated now. We're picking based on gender, not qualifications. We're correcting for years of picking based on gender, just in the other direction. The male candidates are more qualified for this specific assignment. They've had more opportunities to become qualified. That's the problem we're fixing. Sarah gets the assignment. One of the passed-over men requests meeting with me. His name is David Foster, 39, been with company 7 years, strong performer. I don't understand why I didn't get the tech building assignment. Sarah is excellent property manager. She'll do great with that client. But I have direct experience with tech tenants. I manage the research par property. I understand your frustration. These decisions are made considering multiple factors. It feels like I'm being passed over because I'm a man. You've had opportunities in the past that others haven't had. So I'm being punished for past opportunities one didn't control. I end the meeting. Note his resistance to equity initiatives in my records. Month 3. Pattern becomes obvious to male property managers. They're watching women get assignments they would traditionally receive. Some of these women are qualified, some are developmental stretch assignments. But undeniable pattern that gender is primary factor in recent decisions. Group of male property managers starts meeting informally. I hear about it. They're comparing notes on assignments, tracking who gets what, building their own evidence of what they perceive as bias. Month 4, major assignment opportunity, largest in company history. New client, regional healthcare system consolidating their real estate portfolio. 12 buildings across 3 states. Total asset value, $340 million. Needs dedicated property management team. 1 senior lead, 3 property managers. This is career-defining assignment, massive responsibility and visibility. I push for all-female team to manage this portfolio. This is opportunity to demonstrate women's capability at highest level. Assign our top female property managers. Show the client our depth. VP of HR supports this. Strong statement about our commitment to diversity. VP of Operations is resistant. We should assign our absolute best people regardless of gender. Our best people include women who've been underutilized. This client needs experienced team. This is too important for politics. It's not politics, it's equity, and these women are experienced. I propose team. Jessica Huang as lead, Monica Torres, Sarah Chun, and Amanda Price. All are capable, but Jessica and Sarah are managing their first major properties currently. Monica just started the retail center 3 months ago, still in transition. Amanda has good experience, but has had some client relationship challenges. VP of Operations wants to include at least 2 senior male property managers. Specifically wants Brandon Cooper and Robert Nielsen, most experienced team members. This client will expect our most seasoned professionals. They'll get excellent professionals who happen to be women. I make it clear this is non-negotiable from equity perspective. After tense discussion, they approve the all-female team. Healthcare client is introduced to Jessica and her team. Initial meetings go okay. Team is professional and knowledgeable. But within first month, problems start emerging. Client's real estate director, man named Gregory Walsh, 52, expresses concerns. Calls VP of Operations. I'm not seeing the level of expertise I expected. The team is working hard but seems overwhelmed by portfolio complexity. They're managing 12 properties across 3 states. That's significant scope. That's why I was told you to sign your most experienced team. This is an experienced team. They have your confidence. Jessica seems capable, but she's learning our systems while managing the transition. Sarah is sharp, but hasn't managed healthcare properties before. Monica is juggling this with her retail property, seems stretched thin. Gregory is diplomatic, but message is clear. Client is not satisfied. Month 5, healthcare portfolio has specific incidents. Maintenance issue at 1 building not escalated properly. Client unhappy. Lease renewal deadline missed at another property. Tenant almost walked. Budget variance at 3rd property. Costs exceeding projections without early warning. Each incident individually is minor. Collectively, they show coordination problems. Gregory Walsh calls for meeting with senior leadership. Brings his team. They're clearly frustrated with service quality. We consolidated our portfolio with Piedmont because of your reputation. We're not seeing the level of attention and expertise we expected. We've had better property management from smaller firms on individual buildings. VP of Operations tries to reassure him. We're working through transition challenges. This isn't transition, this is competence. Your team seems in over their heads. I need to know, is this your A team or did you assign less experienced people? This is the direct question nobody wants to answer. We assigned highly qualified property managers who are fully capable. Then why are we experiencing these issues across multiple properties? I'm considering taking this portfolio to another firm if things don't improve. $340 million portfolio at risk. This is catastrophic potential loss. Emergency meeting after client leaves. VP of Operations is furious. We assign team based on gender rather than readiness for this complexity. The team is qualified. They're working through learning curve. We can't have learning curve on our largest client. We needed proven team from day one. We needed to give women opportunity at this level, not at the expense of client satisfaction and company revenue. Decision is made to add Brandon Cooper to healthcare team as senior advisor. Jessica will remain lead, but Brandon will provide support and oversight. I object strongly. This undermines Jessica's authority. This keeps us from losing $340 million client. That's the priority. Brandon joins the team. Within 2 weeks, things stabilize. He catches issues before they escalate, provides guidance on complex situations. His presence basically confirms clients' concerns about original team's experience. Month 6, more assignment decisions go to women despite qualified male candidates. The male property manager's informal group is now tracking everything. They've built detailed spreadsheet showing 18-month pattern. Of last 22 major assignments, 17 went to women property managers. In 12 of those cases, they identified more experienced male candidates passed over. They document specific qualifications comparisons. David Foster passed over for tech building despite direct relevant experience. Robert Nielsen passed over for retail center despite managing similar property. Multiple men passed over for healthcare portfolio team despite senior expertise. Month 7, the male property managers take action. Group of 11 male property managers files joint complaint with VP of HR, alleging systematic gender discrimination in assignment decisions. Their evidence package is comprehensive, shows clear pattern over 18 months, includes my statements from meetings about prioritizing women and rebalancing, includes data showing 77% of major assignments went to women during this period, compared to 36% in the 18 months prior. Stark statistical shift. Also includes client feedback about healthcare portfolio team. Gregory Walsh's concerns about experience levels documented in emails. His specific question about whether we assigned our A team. This is professionally compiled complaint. They clearly consulted attorney. VP of HR brings me in for meeting. She's serious and concerned. These allegations are significant. We need to address them. I was implementing the equity initiative we discussed. Equity doesn't mean systematically favoring one gender over qualifications. We were correcting historical imbalance in assignment patterns by creating current imbalance in the opposite direction. She shows me their data. It's undeniable when laid out this way. You advocated for women candidates in 17 of 22 assignment decisions. In multiple cases, you explicitly stated gender as factor in your recommendation. I was being transparent about equity considerations. You were creating legal liability by discriminating based on gender. Week later, company brings an outside employment attorney to investigate. Attorney interviews all 11 complainants, reviews assignment records, interviews me, VP of Operations, VP of HR, reviews meeting minutes, pulls client satisfaction data, portfolio performance metrics. His report takes 3 weeks. Findings are damning. Clear pattern of gender-based assignment decisions over 18-month period. Senior HR business partner explicitly advocated for female candidates based on gender. Male property managers with superior qualifications passed over repeatedly. Client service quality issues on major portfolio directly traced to experience gaps. Company faces significant liability under Title VII for discriminatory practices. Specific findings detail each problematic assignment decision. Monica Torres assigned to retail center despite Robert Nielsen having direct retail experience. Sarah Chun assigned to tech building despite David Foster's demonstrated tech client expertise. Healthcare portfolio assigned to all-female team despite clients' expectations for most experienced managers. Assignment pattern shows 77% of opportunities going to 29% of eligible candidates, women. Attorney recommends immediate corrective action. Terminate senior HR business partner who implemented discriminatory practices. Reassign properties where experience gaps are affecting client service. Implement objective assignment criteria based on qualifications, not demographics. Consider settlement discussions with complainants to avoid litigation. Week later, call to meeting with VP of HR and company's legal counsel. They're direct and formal. We're terminating your employment effective immediately for implementing discriminatory assignment practices based on gender. I was trying to correct historical gender imbalances by creating current gender discrimination, which is illegal regardless of motivation. The intent was equity and inclusion. Intent doesn't matter under employment law. Disparate treatment is violation. They walked me out that afternoon. 6 years with company ended. 2 weeks later, company settles with the 11 male property managers. Total settlement, $680,000 distributed among them for lost opportunity and compensation. Additional agreement to reassess current assignments using objective criteria. Healthcare portfolio team is restructured. Brandon Cooper becomes official lead. Jessica Huang remains on team, but in supporting role appropriate to experience. Monica Torres and Sarah Chun moved to other assignments, replaced with senior managers. Client Gregory Walsh is informed of changes, expresses satisfaction. This is the level of expertise we expected from the beginning. 3 months after termination, I'm 40, unemployed, searching for HR roles. But news has spread in Charlotte business community. Commercial real estate is small world. Everyone knows what happened. HR director fired for discriminating against male employees. Cost company $680,000 in settlements, plus major client dissatisfaction. Can't get interviews at any professional services firms. Recruiters are honest with me. Companies are concerned about legal risk. You created discrimination case that cost significant money. That makes you unhireable in HR leadership roles. 6 months unemployed, finally get offer as HR coordinator at small nonprofit. $44,000 salary, entry-level position despite my 14 years experience. From $96,000 senior HR business partner to $44,000 coordinator. From influencing major business decisions to processing benefit enrollments. 1 year after termination, I'm 41, making $44,000 doing administrative HR work. Piedmont Commercial Properties is stable. Assignment system is transparent now. Objective criteria published. Years of experience, property type expertise, client relationship skills. Performance metrics weighted, no subjective fit or development opportunity language. Under new system, assignments are roughly 60% male, 40% female. Reflects the actual composition of qualified property managers at each experience level. Women are advancing, but through demonstrated performance, not preferential assignment. Jessica Huang is doing well on healthcare portfolio in appropriate role. Monica Torres successfully managing the retail center with Brandon's mentorship. Sarah Chun transitioned to different tech, building more suited to her experience level. All three are progressing in their careers through proper development. David Foster got his next major assignment, tech campus that matched his expertise. Robert Nielsen is managing premium retail portfolio, utilizing his retail experience. Brandon Cooper promoted to VP of Property Management, leading whole division. The men I tried to disadvantage are advancing based on their capabilities. 2 years after termination. See article in Commercial Real Estate publication. Piedmont Commercial Properties wins industry award for client satisfaction. Client retention rate is 94%, up from 87% during my equity initiative period. Gregory Walsh from Healthcare Client quoted an article. Piedmont assigned experienced team that understood our complex needs. The difference in service quality has been remarkable. He's talking about the team restructuring after I was fired. After Brandon and senior managers replaced the all-female team I insisted on. Comments from property managers show satisfaction with fair assignment system. One comment from Jessica Huang stands out. I appreciate being assigned to projects that match my current experience level. I'm building skills systematically rather than being thrown into situations I wasn't ready for. She's saying what nobody could say while I was there. I set her up to fail by pushing her into assignment beyond her readiness. 3 years after termination, run into David Foster at industry conference. He's now senior property manager, handling major portfolio, clearly thriving. We make eye contact, it's awkward, haven't spoken since my termination. He approaches, surprisingly cordial. How are you doing? Working in HR at nonprofit, different pace from commercial real estate. That's good. Nonprofit work is meaningful. Uncomfortable pause. Then I say what I should have said 3 years ago. I'm sorry for how I handled the assignment decisions. You passed me over for opportunities I'd earned. I know. I was trying to correct what I saw as historical bias. By creating new bias in the opposite direction, that didn't help anyone. He's not angry, just factual. The women you pushed into assignments before they were ready, did that help them? Jessica struggled on healthcare portfolio until Brandon took over. Monica was overwhelmed managing retail center while learning on the job. Sarah had client issues at tech building because she didn't have the background. He's listing the outcomes I didn't want to acknowledge. You didn't advance women's careers. You set them up for visible failures. Then wondered why clients were unhappy and male managers complained. I thought I was creating opportunities. You were creating problems for the women, for the men, for the clients, for the company. Every word is accurate. Every word hurts. The 11 of us who filed a complaint, we weren't against women advancing. We were against being passed over for opportunities we'd earned based on our gender. That's discrimination whether it happens to women or men. He walks away to join colleagues. Successful property manager, fairly treated. I go back to my hotel room, no longer relevant in commercial real estate. 4 years after termination, I'm 44, making $47,000 as HR coordinator. Piedmont Commercial Properties just closed major deal, expanding into new markets. Brandon Cooper, as VP, is leading expansion, hiring 15 new property managers. Job posting emphasizes merit-based advancement and objective assignment criteria. Explicit response to what happened under my equity initiative. The 11 male managers who filed complaint are all still with company. Several have been promoted, building successful careers. Women property managers are also advancing through demonstrated performance. 2 women promoted to senior property manager in past year. Both earned it through years of experience and proven client satisfaction, not through preferential assignments or lowered standards. That's sustainable advancement, what I failed to create. 5 years after termination, see Jessica Huang speak at industry event. She's now senior property manager, managing Class A office portfolio. Took her 5 years of proper development to reach that level. Her presentation is about building client relationships in property management. Professional, confident, knowledgeable, everything she needed time to become. After her talk, I approach her, need to apologize. That was excellent presentation. Jessica, she recognizes me. Expression is guarded. Thank you, how have you been? Working in nonprofit HR, learning different sector. That's good. Silence. Then I say it. I'm sorry for pushing you into healthcare portfolio before you were ready. She's quiet for a moment, then responds carefully. That was difficult experience. I was overwhelmed and it showed. I know. I should have advocated for your proper development instead. Instead of just assigning me to major portfolio to make statement about gender. She's being direct. I deserve it. When Brandon joined the team, I learned more in 3 months than previous year. Because he mentored me at appropriate level instead of just expecting me to perform. That's what I should have insured for you. Now I'm senior property manager because I earned it through proper progression, not because someone gave me assignment to fill diversity quota. That's how it should work. She nods. I hope you've learned from this. Walks away to join other industry professionals, successful on her own merits. Now I'm here, 45, making $47,000 as HR coordinator. Former senior HR business partner who lost $49,000 in annual salary. Who cost company $680,000 in discrimination settlements. Who damaged client relationships by prioritizing ideology over service quality. Who set women up to fail by pushing them beyond their readiness, while punishing men for being qualified and experienced, all because I thought equity meant gender-based decisions, rather than fair treatment based on actual qualifications. The male property managers I discriminated against are thriving. The women I overpromoted are succeeding now through proper development. The clients are satisfied with experienced management teams. The company has a fair assignment system that works for everyone. And I'm processing benefit enrollments at nonprofit. Watching the commercial real estate industry from outside. Unemployable in my field because I created discrimination case. That cost hundreds of thousands in settlements. And damaged client relationships on major accounts. All while calling it equity and inclusion. When really it was just discrimination with different target. That's what I learned too late at cost of career. You can't correct bias with opposite bias. Can't help women by hurting men. Can't create equity through discriminatory treatment. Only create resentment, lawsuits, damaged careers. Including your own career most of all. That's my legacy in Charlotte commercial real estate. The HR director, who is signed by gender, not qualifications, got fired after male managers filed discrimination complaint, lost half her salary and her professional reputation, while everyone she tried to help or hurt succeeded through merit-based system after she left. That's what I live with now at 45 at $47,000. Processing paperwork at nonprofit organization. Former HR leader who thought she was fighting injustice, really just creating different injustice. And destroying her own career by treating people differently based on gender, instead of fairly based on qualifications. That's the expensive truth. That cost me everything, because equity doesn't mean discrimination. It means fairness, and I never understood the difference. Until it was too late.